Welcome back to what I guess is officially the second Rome, if we exclude the welcome at the beginning, but this is the second proper Rome that we're going to be doing around. I hope you're suitably fed and watered, I know we are. We're going to go and try and catch up with the other half of the trade village, I guess, but first of all, we're deliberately down below the mezzanine, because that is where a certain group of people get to go. Nick, introduce our very special guest.
Yeah, Christina with Bubbly in hand is ready just straight after giving a talk about Benchmark, our new membership that we've launched for visitors. I'll let you explain what that's about.
So Benchmark is an exclusive membership that goes on for 2 years. It covers 2 people for the project, and it's there just to help people out. So a bit of a hand-holding exercise. Just that we're there all the time to help everybody. Any questions they've got, if I don't know the answer, then I can signpost people into the right direction.
And it's so many good. I mean, it was even coming up in the panel that we just had. Is the fact that, you know, the real hardcore self-builders and that, they'll come back here 4, 5, 6 times because they need little bits of information at different times, and that gives them that capability. Plus the courses.
Yes. Yeah, they get a lot of discount off courses as well, which works really well.
And of course we're here sort of playfully below the mezzanine because that is the area. It's quiet at the moment because obviously we've kind of finished the lunch period. People have had their enjoyment and they're off at various other...
It was busy about 5-10 minutes ago because everyone was having their lunch break, but now everyone's gone back into the theatre to catch
we're
the
not
next
allowed
talks.
We're not allowed up there because I'm not a membership.
VIP only.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to join that benchmark, I tell you. But it just kind of makes sense. If it's something that you're doing... It doesn't even have to be regular, does it? If you're now in the middle of it.
Yeah, if you're in the middle or if it's right at the start and you want to get all the information, build up your knowledge for the beginning, and then you know what you're doing going forward. So yeah, beginning or middle, either works quite well, to be honest.
It does.
Great. And for anyone coming tomorrow, you're going to be giving your talk again tomorrow, right, to help people understand?
Yep, at 1:15 in the Sustainability Theatre, so you can come along and find out a bit more information.
That's why the joking, playful bubbles are there, because that's what, for everybody who attends that, gets a glass of bubbles. So we forced Christina to bring another one with her, and you resisted briefly.
I did, yeah. Took a lot of forcing.
Yeah. Well, Christina, lovely to see you again. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. So that's Benchmark, and I'm impressed that I still remember the name.
I reckon it's locked in now.
It is. I don't know why. You know, you just sometimes get the big mental blocks.
Yeah.
That was, you were laughing at me yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was, wasn't it?
Right, just say VIP and I'll pick it up. I'll say Benchmark for you. Let's take a trip this way. We're going to see if our timing is right, if we can try and catch Tom McSherry from Bill Store between clients.
He has been flat out, hasn't he? There's no question about it.
Yeah, so let's have a look. And just as we're walking past, on our right, you can see
he's with someone. He is with someone.
He's with someone. Okay, so what you can see, we'll just stall for a moment and see if he finishes, but otherwise we'll move on. But what you can see here is all our expert one-to-ones going on. So this is a lot of our presenters from throughout the 2 days.
Of course,
And actually, once they've spoken, people want to have a bit more of a chat with them. And this is where you can see at the front desk there, my colleagues Claire and Katie, who are booking everyone in. And Harvey's there actually as well, who we caught up with earlier, our managing director. But it's great because it means after catching a half an hour or 45-minute talk, and maybe you can ask some questions, sure, but now you can come and book a 20-minute free consultation, have a chat with them, and ask questions that are really specific to your project. So it's amazing.
And because it's what I love is that you've got these placards on each of the table that's telling you who is on that table. You book them there, and then you've got all these scheduled. If they're not available right now, you book it for later in the day.
Yeah, and the one thing this is probably the last time I'll mention Benchmark on this broadcast, but is
I don't believe you.
But it's the last one for the next 2 minutes. Benchmark members actually get to sign up for these in advance, whereas everyone else has to book on the day.
Oh, crikey. Yeah, that's a valid point.
So you just you can plan your day out ahead of time.
Yeah. Fair shout.
Which is pretty cool. I think let's head through this way, because even if we can't catch Tom, what we can do is we can have a quick look at the plot shop on our right here.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, and this is what we talked about in episode 2 a little bit.
It was, and this is where he brought it up with us in episode 2, and I had no idea. I mean, it's fairly obvious when you say it, but I had no idea that you can buy these plots with different levels of planning permission already.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're pretty much ready to go. They've all got some level of planning permission. So that's great.
Amazing.
And this exists online as well, but here you can come and have a conversation about it.
But the great thing is that's just one element of here, isn't it? Because it is about the financing, and that was what we had him on episode 2.
And that's what Build Store do primarily. It's about financing, and they will work with banks and building societies to help you fund your project.
Yeah.
and get all the specialist lending that you need. Should we carry on through this
Yeah,
way?
fine. And not just help you fund it, but he had that inbuilt knowledge that helps you. Because I asked the question, how on earth do you? I mean, I would be useless going, how do I know what my budget needs to be for all of this stuff? And we're talking about all these different elements, and they've got the knowledge to be able to help with that as well.
And actually, on top of that, talking about what's the budget, but also what to look for in a plot.
Yep.
Very conveniently, at 3 p.m, we're going to be catching up with Mark Stevenson, who actually can talk us exactly through what to look for in a plot as well. So he's going to be in our next panel discussion at 3 o'clock.
Hopefully, we might get a chance.
I think
he does get
too
engrossed,
popular,
doesn't he?
Maybe we'll give him a wave, but I think
we'll just
Tom's
quickly
too
wave
popular
to Tom
for us today, but we'll give him a wave.
Hi, Tom. There's Tom McSherry.
Of episode 2 fame.
Of episode 2, although we get to see him in person here, don't we? He was still up in Scotland on episode 2. So, where are we going next?
I think we head down Expert Alley. So actually, this will be a slightly...
Expert Alley.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so this angle might look a bit familiar for those of you that joined us for episode 3, because this is where we shot from.
We were. The cameras were all set up here, and we were sat there.
Yeah, and we've got our old friends Total Home Environment here. So Clarissa's not here today, but she will be here tomorrow.
She's here.
The rest of the
she's
team
speaking tomorrow as well, isn't she? But I love this unit here where, and actually you're not going to be able to feel this, but as we walk past the cold outlet, you actually feel the cold air. But where they've not just got the colours, but they've got the ribbons either going inwards or outwards, shows where the air's blowing. It's just an obvious thing to do.
Yeah, and that's a real top of the range system, right? Because we've talked a lot about air source heat pumps, and we've talked about the MVHR ventilation units. That's both in one. So that's if you're going to do both things, perhaps you can do so, kill two birds with one stone, and then you're actually taking up less space as well.
I love that. Central heating and air conditioning are so yesterday. The future is HPV technology. There you go.
Would you like to have a chat about insulation seconds? That's all right.
That's fine.
In that case, I'll just give a shout out to Seconds & Co installation. So this is a place where actually you can get all different types of insulation, and actually just by maybe there being a little bit of visual knocks and damage on some of that stuff, you can get a really good discounted price on some stuff that's really still usable.
Cool. Fair dues.
I've done the shout out for you.
We did it for you.
I'm not going to do that for every single stand, otherwise we'll never get around.
Renewable energy.
I would love if we could speak to some visitors, but I don't know if anyone's going to feel brave enough.
Yeah, I've not really felt any that looked like they were, to be honest. It's which is a shame. I know it will feel weird that we're kind of walking past places, and I'm kind of bowing down to you.
We can't go everywhere. I did want to have a chat with Which, because they've only recently joined us, but it looks like they're quite popular at the moment.
That's pretty cool. So Which are here themselves. What would you go and speak to them about?
Well, they could tell you that better than me, but I'm going to stand in front so you can see. But yeah, quite a cool addition really to the centre, because actually rather than a company who directly is providing goods or services, actually how do you make a decision on what you can trust? Speak to these guys, because they can help you actually sort that out and understand which way to go.
Are you speaking to them? You free? Yeah, good.
Oh, we've lured
one
of the team away.
My question was, because obviously, a very welcome addition to NSBRC here. So a visitor comes to this, what can they find out from Which here?
Yeah, so I mean, everybody knows about Which in terms of needing a washing machine or a new TV or something. But what we're doing and what we're talking about here today are two main things. One, we've just launched a home energy planning service, which helps homeowners build a personalised plan to make their home more energy efficient. And then we also have Which Trusted Trader, where we endorse traders that you can really trust. And so hopefully when people have used the planning service, decided what they want to do, they can then go on and find an installer that we've vetted and that we've looked at and we can recommend.
It makes sense in reality, doesn't it?
Sounds pretty good, right?
Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for that. It's so obvious. So make sure you go and speak to Which, because then you know you're going in the right direction.
Wonderful.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, and you.
Maybe we should just catch this beautiful kitchen in the background for a moment.
Yes.
I'm not sure I've got a lot to say about it apart from.
But this is
doesn't it look nice?
It doesn't it, and this is I remember that we had the conversation. Who was it with? It possibly was with Clarissa again. That like everybody kind of thinks, what the kitchen's going to be like, what the home cinema's going to be like, and all of that. And it's like, absolutely, that's your want. You're looking forward
It's
to
the
it.
carrot that's dangled in front of you to make you want to do everything
but
else,
don't
right?
do that first.
No.
And that can be the mistake, is that people can start with this. These are the bits that you then. And actually, the interesting point for me that jumped out that I hadn't ever thought of is that you don't always have to have your forever kitchen from the first instance.
Very true. Yeah. So this is actually, Walter might not want us saying this, but yeah, it's not necessarily
but my point
something
is have
you
those
need to do on day one.
conversations ready.
Yeah. So how do you prepare? As we talked
Yeah.
about with the stair lifts and things you might not want on day one. Actually, it might be that you put in a kitchen that's good enough, a bathroom that's good enough, but
Correct.
you've created a space where you future-proof for an upgrade.
Yeah, if you needed to spread those costs, I mean, it could be, I don't know, I'm looking at this as an example, is that you kind of go, look, I can't afford with everything else, I can't afford the island and everything else, but I'm going to plan to have everything else, and I know exactly what island we're getting when the time's right. You know, you've got those...
Let's leave that space for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, see you guys later, I'm staying here, right?
Yeah, let's keep moving.
I love that kitchen, so nice.
I'm wondering if there's enough traffic in the or enough space and lack of traffic in the renovation house for us to pass through inside.
Oh.
I'm wondering if that might be quite
and
cool.
I told you we wouldn't be allowed, didn't I?
We won't do the whole tour. Maybe we'll just have a quick look through.
You've got every element of your house as we work through each of the different rooms, each of the different
so I think we won't
bits.
go in through the traditional entrance. I think we'll just do a short loop round the side.
Okay.
But yeah,
do we get to see the
yeah,
the worst?
maybe have a quick look at the front.
Do we get to see the worst case scenario?
Yeah, so this is it. So essentially, the idea being that, okay, this is your worst case scenario, your starting point. And actually, there's every problem under the sun with this house. But hopefully,
do we get to see inside there?
Okay, let's have a quick look through.
I think we've got to see the worst case.
I can tell you want to. So let's go this way rather than going around and skipping the
I'm
stage.
getting us in trouble now, Nick.
But the idea being, yeah, you should be able to see your problem with your property in here, whatever it might
What's
be.
your step, Nick?
And it's, yeah, as you can see, it's not the greatest starting point.
Yeah, it's a very old-fashioned house, as you can see.
It's what we call potential, isn't it?
I think it's beyond that. And then we're into this. So, what did you say it was? 1920s?
1920s. Yeah, so it's 100 years old now, this house. This one isn't, as you can imagine.
No.
But we've built it in the style of a house that's 100 years old and really in need of a little bit of love. It's got every problem you can imagine. Listen to this bit at number 1, listen to this part at number 2, and so on. Going to go back out. But yeah, we'll leave the rest to be a surprise.
Yes. The rest to be a surprise, and apparently you're losing us in here, so we're going to go back out.
All right, let's go. Let's take a right, I think.
Take a right. Just as well. We're back now. That's all right then. See,
Okay.
it's not got the full Wi-Fi in there, has it? I know what we were going to do is the sound.
Rock wall?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll head over in that direction because we want to check out some insulation that we've looked at earlier and an interesting experiment that they've got going on. Of course, we might want to make some stops along the way. Talking of nice little extras.
Lovely fire.
Wouldn't you like that?
Oh, wood burning, gas, multi-fuel, and that is going to feature in people's desires, isn't it? Is that you kind of go, well, I want something like this. I know I do. We're getting nearer to the winter months, and you kind of go, yeah, that's what I want to plan into my house.
And that rotates almost all the way around, 340 degrees. So you could have that multi-purpose for different spaces.
Love it.
Which is pretty cool. Sorry. So we're just going to pop through here. I'm just going to point out a couple of cool solutions on my left and on my right. So on the left, this Eco-Tiffin air drain, which is a really cool solution. If you have a quick look at this diagram, that you actually would put just here, just on the ground in front of an exterior wall. And actually, instead of moisture building up here, it helps it drain away. So if your damp-proof course isn't quite working out, this is a really cool little crafty solution that doesn't cost the earth.
Yeah.
And just on the other side of us, having a bit of a chat, again, a bit too busy for us right now, but Catnick Roof Cladding, as someone who's chatting, giving a talk at our Sustainability Theatre tomorrow as well. So definitely worth catching.
Okay, cool. It really is quite staggering how many, the number of experts on how many different things, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, different aspects that you can consider and you can make better.
Yeah, there's another new addition that I wanted to catch here actually, which is a pretty impressive looking piece of kit. Hiya, are you happy to have a word with us?
Yes, absolutely.
What can you tell us about this impressive looking machine?
Right, so this is an Auctioner air source heat pump. Obviously you can see this looks a bit different to most other air source heat pumps. Auctioner is a 150-year-old company that's been making heat pumps now for 50 years. So the most respected heat pump company in Europe. We stand out for a few things. For sound levels, so the Airhawk is award-winning. It only comes in at 28 decibels, which is incredibly quiet.
It is very quiet, I can tell you.
This is running now at 90% microphones here. We're talking over it. You can't hear it. So it's incredibly low noise level. The trees rustling make more noise than this. There's a few reasons for that I won't go into, but basically the compressor, the noise making part of the heat pump is in a soundproof box in here. So this is why this makes it super quiet. Another thing that stands out with these heat pumps is the longevity. So we're in the industry of saving carbon emissions and reducing our footprints. If we're replacing units after sort of 5, 10, 12 years and having to replace all this stuff, then what are we doing? So Auctioner use really high-end components, and their machines are designed to last 25 plus years. Wow. So 2 to 3 times longer than other heat pumps. So in the long run, the lifetime embodied carbon is really low. Sound levels incredibly low. Your running costs over all this time will be really low as well. So again, not so well known in the UK now, but again in Europe they've been a family name for many, many years. So we've been installing these in the UK for about 10 years now or more. Just high quality, long lasting heat pumps. Amazing.
That fits very nicely into the conversation we were having earlier with one of our panels, wasn't it, about the embodied carbon versus the operational carbon?
Exactly, and that's a big factor. This company, that their ethos is basically that we want it to last a long time, because what's the point in doing all these things? We don't like the sort of built-in redundancy where you kind of have to like change something like iPhones every couple of years, whatever. The whole point in this is to make things last, and so this is the outdoor unit. It's stainless steel, triple coated. It's designed to last as long as the inside unit. This is exposed to the elements, so it's just, again, super well made.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. We're going to carry on our way, but
thank you.
Love it. Thank you.
I just love the fact, again, we can just hold this here.
Yeah.
There's more ambient noise than noise from that. I can hear more from everywhere else. It's just amazing.
I'm really curious as to how loud that's actually coming out.
I love the
if
fact
the microphone's doing its job, it might actually sound quite loud,
be,
but it is not. Trust us.
The
debris, yeah.
So that's a caveat for anyone that is watching this. If
it did,
loud,
it's because it's a good microphone.
You can barely hear it.
I love the fact that he said, I could tell you, and I thought you were going to say, but I'd have to kill you. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right, I think we're pretty close now. Going to make our way towards Rockwool and have a look at some pretty impressive installation. Yeah, here we are.
We don't know whether this next bit is going to work, but we're going to give it a go. This here, this rock wall, I mean, how do you sum it up?
Would you like to sum it up, or would you like us to sum it up?
I'm going to go in this time. I mean, because we're going to do the walkthrough, because we're saying about you walking out, your ears just, you feel like you got to blow them back out again. But aside from that wow factor, speak to us from the commercial perspective. What is Rockwool?
So Rockwool is a non-combustible insulation. It's made from basalt rock. We take it from Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. We melt it down. We put it into a massive canvas screen like a spinner. We catch the fibres off and then turn it into an insulation product. The main big selling points of ours is the acoustics, the A1 non-combustibility and the durability of the product. It's good for the lifetime of the building. So as you put it in, you don't have to worry about it. It won't degrade or anything like that.
Wow. And that is, if you couldn't tell from that, is that there is a flame on that thing and it's just discolouring it and that's it.
That's all it does. It'll just glow on that all day. That's been on since 9 o'clock this morning and all it's done is just glow.
It's crazy. So soundproof.
That's a lot of trust in the product, right?
Exactly,
That's great.
Yeah. Did you know they were doing this?
I didn't. I'm looking away.
Yeah. So it is the soundproofing. We're going to see whether we can bring that alive.
It's thermal insulation. It's acoustics. It's A1 non-combustible. It's hydrophobic, so it doesn't absorb water, and it's easy to fit and finish.
Hydrophobic. That means it's not scared of water.
It's not scared of water at all. So it doesn't absorb water, so water just beads off it.
Love it.
So we're going to do the experiment now, right?
We're going to give it a go.
Through the tunnel.
You ready for this? You ready for this? So we're going to keep talking as we walk in here, and hopefully...
The idea being that you can hear the insulation working.
Exactly, that it suddenly deadens absolutely everything. And the best way to explain this is that as we're stood in here, as we walk in here, that feeling you get when you're on a plane, I feel like I need to hold my nose and blow my ears back out again.
And suddenly your voice is bassier in here. I don't know if that's coming through on the recording.
Boom, yeah,
yeah.
This is what we need in our studio. That's what
It's
it
done
is.
something
We
for the
need some
acoustics.
Rockwell in the
But
studio.
it's interesting. The background noise is gone.
Well, and that's the key point. And Tom's just said in my ear that it's working because we tested it yesterday when, of course, nobody was here other than a few setting up. And
Yeah.
he's like, when you've got ambient noise, it'll probably work better. That noise that we had out there, it's just gone.
It's gone. Yeah, and that's it. And that's, that isn't the first job of this installation to do that. But you can hear the fact that if it's blocking out that sound, it's working. It's doing its job.
I like the fact as well that what he was saying is that this thing, because I mean, you go and put a lot of these more
There is a do not
traditional.
touch sign on it.
Is there? Sorry. Oops. Oops.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Thank you. I mean, it's not live, it's fine. Oh, God, it is. No, but these things, if you put a lot of these more traditional ones, is that they literally just get compacted down without anything compacting them.
Yes.
Whereas these, they're saying, is that it will just stay there. It won't burn. It won't, it's not going to have an issue with water and stuff like that. It's just very, very clever. And it's from rock.
Yep. Natural materials.
Yeah, incredible.
Let's
So
head
there we
back out the
go.
other end
I
of this
believe
tunnel.
that did work. That did work, apparently. It picked it up, the different audio.
Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah, the
Thank you,
sound has
guys.
completely changed again. I did, before we move on, I wanted to have a look. I know it's not you guys, sorry. I wanted to have a look at this modular
Thanks, guys.
VHR
Appreciate
unit. Thanks, chaps. So yeah, something that Airflow offer here, which is really interesting, is we talked about the central MVHR units when we were talking to Total Home Environment. And that's where you have one unit and you have ducting that is managing the airflow for your whole home and capturing heat and making sure that you're multiplying and reusing that. This is a mini version of that, and a few of our exhibitors here offer these, 2 at least that I'm aware of. But actually, this is what looks like an extractor fan, but it is a mini MVHR unit. So it's really cool. If you're in a situation where maybe you're retrofitting a house and it isn't suitable for you to put ducting everywhere, if you're trying to actually ventilate a smaller area, this is better than just doing an extractor fan because you're then not losing the heat through it.
So it doubles up.
Yeah, exactly that.
Love it.
So it's ventilation and heat recovery.
Fair shout. That's pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
Very,
Shall we
very
head
cool.
back down that way? I don't know how long we've got.
What have we got? We got about roughly 5 minutes.
Roughly 5 minutes. I'm hoping we can make a beeline down here and maybe we can have a look at the cinema room as a little bit of dessert at the end.
I've been able to. I thought it was us that were going to be held back from that, but it's not. It's you.
Yeah.
By the way, I will just quickly point over there is that we've got an outdoor area as well. We know we can't go out there because we lose signal, but out there we've got.
Yeah, we've got a few outdoor living things, but we've also got a merchant out there who kind of deals specifically in green products.
Yep.
But also, if you're looking at garden buildings and things like that.
Yeah. And the flooring was really cool as well.
Yes,
the different
that's it.
flooring.
So any outdoor spaces, whether that's buildings or whether it is just patioing and all things like that, you can find a few bits out there.
So we're into the sort of like doors and windows and
This
things
is
like
it.
that here as well.
We're just walking past on the right. Actually, there's some really top of the range windows and glazing that you can get. And we talked about Passive House previously, which actually we're just stumbling into the Passive House tour here that our friend Alan's running. Hi, Alan.
Rainwater
We're just stumbling
harvesting
into
as
the
well.
Passive House tour, aren't we? I think by the look of it, just finished. But yeah, we were just talking about Norskin and ecological building systems as well, and their role in that. That's great.
Right, look, the rainwater harvesting as well.
Let's have a quick look, spin around and have a look at the rainwater harvesting. There's an interesting talk going on here, but I don't want to intrude on their client conversation. But this is a really interesting angle to look at because we've talked about renewables in terms of
This is
creating
the
energy.
ultimate renewal.
Yeah,
isn't
we've talked
it?
about creating energy, but actually, what about
a good
capturing
idea,
water
wouldn't
that literally is falling from the sky, and we could use
And from the toilets as well, I see.
Yep.
Or is that going back into the toilet?
It's being used to, you can use it to flush through. So it's coming
That's
down,
really,
being captured,
really good.
and then you're
So,
reusing it.
I've always sort of had this thing about I can't believe that we use drinking water to flush our toilets.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's
Really
thinking, well,
should
what a
be
waste
grey
that
water,
is.
yeah.
Perhaps
We'll
we
just
can
wander through.
use something else for that, right?
Exactly.
Where might it fall from? The sky. Great. Let's
Right.
keep moving through. We can actually go through the back way, which I don't think you've been through before to get to this room. This hidden secret room where we can look at the wonders of cinema technology. I don't know whether it's going to be empty or we're going to encounter some other people in there, but we'll have a look.
You never know. Well,
I will just call out Lecker as we're coming past, and they have a little training centre here that they use. Some really cool roofing, and they actually are one of the exhibitors that's in our outdoor area as well.
Oh, okay.
So some of the outdoor living, but also all this roofing, and they do use the centre as a bit of a training area as well, which is great.
Cool.
And we're going to pop in where this sign says go left for a Perio. And we'll see whether we've got it to ourselves or not. Maybe not quite, but we'll have a little look in here.
There is some people in here, but
It's nice and noisy, so this will be fun for the microphones.
So
Yeah.
special for quite a few people, the home cinema. I love even we've got the rack and the equipment over here to be able to do everything, smart lighting.
And this isn't just about entertainment, this is also about home automation as well. And what you'll see, because we weren't the first people to walk in here, what you do get the benefit of is if, oh yeah, let's have a sit down. What you do get the benefit, if you walk in here when it's empty, you'll see the blinds will move and the lights will change. There's a bit of a demonstration of that. I think this is Hans Zimmer. Is he playing us out? I don't know if we're done.
I think it's got to be. I mean, you've got all the security elements. We've got all the security elements back here.
Yeah, absolutely. So there
Auto
are real
lighting.
practical elements that you can, if you need an excuse to get some of this stuff, maybe some of those practical elements can give you the excuse.
So this is another one of those ones that are the fine tuning exactly what you want, and this is pretty special, this one. An awful lot to look at, not just the entertainment, but it is the automated home, all of that sort of stuff. Keeping everything tucked nicely away is important. You don't want cables everywhere. I think that's the perfect way to end it.
Yeah, I think we'll end the segment and we're gonna chill out with a cello and drum solo, I think.
So we'll see you later for panel number 3.
See you at 3 o'clock.
What time will that be?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. See you at 3.
Cheers.